Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Time!
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Ayler's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, here's Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. How's you doing? It's Friday. Welcome aboard. I hope you're having a great, happy, spooky Friday, as it's actually Halloween. So, welcome aboard. We'll have to spook it up a little bit here. A little background there. Oh, yeah. Appreciate everybody listening, no matter where or how you are doing so, whether it's on one of our great radio station affiliates like 97.7, ESPN, The Ref, always the right call in Evansville, or up in the region on the voice of the region, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM, WJOB, and in Fort Wayne on Fort Wayne's only sports station, 1380 The Fan. Keep it locked on those stations throughout the day as you travel. And if you're following along on social media, that's okay. Just hit the like and the subscribe button. That it's very important. Very helpful to the show. So please do that. We appreciate it. It doesn't take just a little bit. And speaking of subscribing, if you want the best coverage of Indiana news and recruiting on a constant basis and the national news that comes with it in an unbelievable amount, go to thehoosier.com and subscribe. That would really help us out. We'd appreciate it. Not only do you get it for 50% off right now, you also get a free subscription to The Athletic. So double dipping there. It's crazy, but all you get. But also, you'll go into the drawing for those between now and the end of November. You're going in for a drawing for a beautiful Adidas embroidered coat, black. So you've got that going for you. We've got other stuff we'll give away as well as we go out throughout the season. We've got some hats, backpacks, other stuff coming in, but make sure you go there. And once you do that, just make sure you send me a message so I know and can put you in the drawing. Hey, big day coming. Curt Cignotti is joining us. Looking forward to that. Cory Miles, who is actually Curt Cignotti, has had a fun time so far with this, and perfect timing. Everything about it could not have been more perfect. Just the perfect timing, the look. It's pretty good. And man, he's been Fox had him all over the place for Fox Big Noon Kickoff. I think they interviewed him, asked him about the game, what's the tips, what needs to happen. He was out in the crowd during Big Noon Kickoff, then during the game. That's what I actually saw him was during the game broadcast. And on Monday, I asked Curt Cignetti as we were leaving the presser. Zach had asked him about, and we'll hear this later. I'm going to wait until Cory joins us, but he asked him about a favorite Halloween. So, and then at the end, I asked him if he had seen his impersonator. And yeah, he just kind of smiled and chuckled and laughed and said, yeah, he's pretty good. So he likes it. Curt Cignetti likes all of this stuff. As long as they're winning, that's all he cares about, for one thing. His goal is to win. And that, if that's happening, then you can have fun with it. Then everything else is cool. So, and that is the situation at the moment. Indiana is winning. They are doing what they're supposed to do. They're ranked number 2 in the country. And this is on the heels of the first college football playoff poll that will come out on Monday, I believe, which we talked with Coach yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see how they do value what has gone on during the season. Because if you look at it, the best wins are had by Indiana. But we'll see how they do this. The SEC is going to be all over it. I mean, man, they've got 7 out of the top 10 or maybe 8 out of the top 10. It's crazy. But that's in the AP poll. Is that how it's going to remain? Probably. That's the easy route to go. We shall see if that's how they go. But that is certainly the easy route for the CFP pollsters to go. But sometimes they do their own thing. But it will be interesting. Appreciate having everybody along. Brian says the most CFP projections he's seen has the IU number 3. That's because that's with the expectation that Indiana will lose the Big Ten championship game to Ohio State. And then they'll be placed at number 3, which is pretty good. If that happens and the respect is there to lose that game and drop only 1 spot and still be in the top 4, that's pretty good. I think the SEC is going to possibly pull off the same thing. I'm not sure. I doubt that. I think that it depends on if there's an undefeated ACC team or not. But yeah, I think that. I think that the worst case scenario is number 1 or number 3 at the end of the day for Indiana for the CFP results, which champagne problems, baby. Those are champagne problems. Yeah, when you're looking at being at the very top, regardless, even with a loss, that's crazy. We could have never imagined something like that. But the Big Ten says word is Indiana will be number 1 ahead of Ohio State due to a tougher schedule in the first CFP poll, according to Russell. Well, I mean, that's how it should be, but we'll see. Jason thinks that Indiana could be heading to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl. That's the thing. You don't know where exactly you're going to be, but it's supposed to be regarding to proximity. So is Dallas closer than the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans? Those are the 2 closest, I believe. Yeah, those are the 2 closest quarterfinals games. The others are being played in Miami and the Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl. So it's you probably could be heading to Dallas. Now, if they end up winning the Big Ten championship, then they go to the Rose Bowl. The top-ranked Big Ten team goes to the Rose Bowl. That's still part of their agreement, going back to the old days with that relationship with the Rose Bowl and the Big Ten. So, could be heading back. Hey, we've got to take a break. When we come back, we've got lots more coming at you. Hang in there. Just a few moments after these messages.
Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, on this Friday, Spooky Friday, Halloween. Happy Halloween. I hope everybody is enjoying the day. If you're going to enjoy the evening, it looks kind of okay out there, just looking out the window. Haven't actually checked the weather forecast, to be honest with you. I know it's going to be, in the 50s, so this evening, we'll be around 51 for trick-or-treating time. So, not too bad. Toughen up, kids. That's all I can tell you. Toughen up. Expecting a special guest here in a little bit. Looking forward to Curt Cignotti joining us. Speaking of Cignetti has got his hands tied up with the Maryland Terrapins this weekend, and no trap game, as Indiana, I'm more than certain, is more than ready for this. But there's a doorbell. Who could that be? There it is, Curt Cignotti. Hey, man.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing, sir?
Awesome. Couldn't be better.
Cory Miles, a.k.a. Curt Cignotti, has caught a lot of attention, having a lot of fun. Curt Cignetti, as a matter of fact, daggone it, I had this thing set up, and I don't know what happened to it, but I asked Curt Cignetti in the presser on Monday after Zach Osterman had asked Curt about if he had gone trick-or-treating or had a favorite Halloween memory. And as soon as he did, I was like, oh, you popped into my mind. And as soon as he stopped speaking, I asked him, hey, have you seen your impersonator? And he laughed and smiled and said, yeah, he's pretty good. So that had to feel good to see that stamp of approval.
Absolutely. It was great. I was a little worried that he may not like it, or he may, rather me not do an impression of him, but I was glad to see he did like it.
Well, it's so cool. First of all, and what I didn't see until you were in the game, but I know you did a lot of stuff ahead of time with Fox on Fox Big Noon Kickoff.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. We got an invitation to go out there and do the show while they were in Bloomington. I met all the people. They were really great, and we had a really good time doing that. Obviously there's a bunch of the student body there and other people, and we were taking pictures, laughing, and it was a really good time.
And the fans seem to really be enjoying this, man, with you, and enjoying this with you and along for the ride, because this is a great ride. I mean, hey, it is bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It's a hell of a ride for Indiana football. They are rolling. Curt Cignetti has this thing going. And when you're winning, it's fun. Winning, I always say, winning cures everything. And winning is doing that right now. Curt Cignetti having a lot of fun, obviously, by winning and staying entrenched into what he's doing. But obviously, when even stuff like this can bring a smile to his face, that, boy, we know where we are in this. But and then you've done a lot of other media already, man. You were in the Indy Star yesterday, I think, right?
Right. We were in the Bloomington Herald Times. I'm not sure. I think we were in USA Today. I can't.
Well, they're all part of the Gannett Network. So yeah, you're on, man. You're in South Bend. You're everywhere, dude. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was going to Google something, and I typed in Curt Cignetti impersonator. That's all I typed in. Boom, up popped Cory Miles.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have a serious media presence. I know your wife has been a great help to you. She's your
agent.
Your media relations director.
She is pro bono though. She does it pro bono.
Oh, hey, how'd you manage that, man? Especially when you're making $11 million a year. How the hell you manage that?
You got to vacuum, do the dishes, just pay for it any way you can, really.
Oh man. So what started this? How did you really, I mean, what led you to do this?
Like I said, me and my friend Kevin Frank were discussing Curt Cignetti getting hired, and kind of talking about how what we thought about it or whatever. And then as we were kind of chatting, he says, "Hey, you kind of look like Curt Cignetti a little." And then that was like the first, like the initial idea started evolving from that. And then I just had this idea that I would, get the costume set up, get the wardrobe, and then try to go to the game and try to see if they couldn't put me on the Jumbotron if they spot me in the crowd. But, that didn't happen, but everything else did. I got on everything else. And it's just
you didn't get on the Jumbotron, but you got on TV during the game.
Yeah. My son, we were standing there. I'm on the very front row, and me and my son are standing there, and the NBC camera group was right below us. And my son was able to get the attention of one of the guys there who was doing the sound. And then he tapped the guy with the camera on the shoulder, and he was like pointing up at us. And then I seen the camera swing around, and I was like, "Oh, it's showtime!" And went from there. And then we started getting so many calls and offers to come talk to people about how this all came about. But yeah, it all came down basically from trying to get on the Jumbotron.
Curt Cignetti, aka Cory Miles. I keep saying that. I don't know why. I apologize. Cory Miles with us right now, and we were talking a little bit yesterday, and you just mentioned offers. You've had some weird offers, not weird, but some let's say
unusual. It was
unusual offers. I was laughing. So let's talk about some of those first of all. I know there was one that involved hunting.
Yeah, a friend of mine. Actually, he's a friend of mine locally here. He reached out to me and asked me if I would show up at this clay pigeon shoot, and as Curt Cignetti, because his family would get a big kick out of that. And then another offer I got was to go to a party and just show up there. It's kind of like a skit for their party. So,
were you going to get paid for this?
I don't know. I talked to my wife about it. I mean, I'm not trying to do this for money or anything.
Well, I understand, but when people start putting demands on you, you're not trying. They're coming to you. So, right. And if they're expecting you to go out of your way and do all this stuff, but yeah, hey man, this boat don't float for free, baby.
It seems that way because like I was telling you yesterday, we have a TikTok and we're going to be doing skits. Like we did an original one, which is kind of like just thrown together at the spur of the moment. And it was a lot of fun. So now I've got some more ideas that we're going to do some more skits and post those to TikTok, and hopefully everybody will enjoy those. And,
I'm sure they will. Now, don't leave the rest of the social media world out. Make sure you put those on Facebook and YouTube as well. X as well. So,
hey, agent, you hear that? I need all of these accounts created.
Curt Cignotti, aka Cory Miles, with us from Washington, Indiana. I haven't mentioned that yet. A great IU sports area, of course, home of the Zellers, Cody Zeller. It's just been a fun time for you, man.
I think it's fun time.
Have you practiced the mean face yet? You got to have that Curt Cignetti just pissed off look, and when you're up, he's only up 44 points in the fourth quarter, and he's just staring up there. You got to practice that mean face.
Oh yeah. They ask me, some of the times I get questions about what I'm writing on the notepad, and I basically just told them we kick ass and take names, and that's the part where I'm taking the names down, just writing them. Make sure I don't forget.
That is amazing, man. That is amazing. So now, how'd you get such good, you had the perfect tickets too, to the football game. How did that manage to fall into place?
We've been a season ticket holder for several years now.
Oh, okay. And, so those are your tickets.
Right. Yeah. I sit there every time, which I was a little nervous that people will get kind of tired of me. Because there's also people come up wanting your picture, or they'll come over to your seat, kids and stuff. And I didn't want to annoy any of my neighbors there in that area.
They love it. It seems to me everybody loves it. Fulton likes it as well. So I'm sure now you'll be back for the Wisconsin game, I assume, right?
Right. That's right.
And then you're going forward to the Big Ten. You're going to have to follow them throughout the year now, man.
I know.
But I think what we understand, we may have to try to get tickets for you for the Big Ten and beyond.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
Maybe they can ask Coach Cignetti himself. See if we can get a couple of tickets.
Yeah,
I got to be there to root them on.
I'll definitely let him know. I'll tell him that when in the next presser we get to attend, I'll say, "Hey, Coach Cignotti, talk to Cignotti, man. He needs a little hookup here so he can continue to follow you guys." But yeah,
he can coach the team. Let me coach the
crowd
fans and stands.
There you go.
And
you got calls and signals and all of that for certain things. What's next as Curt Cignotti? I mean, obviously, I guess the season you can still have there's only one more home game remaining, but then the fun really starts with the postseason, and this could be an incredible postseason for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, I hate to look ahead, but when we get to the Big 10 or Big 12 championship, I'm gonna have to find a way to get over there, because either GoFundMe or something.
I'm sure that'll happen. There's usually always some great people out there, but we'll definitely be working on that, trying to help that out for you. But
and also we created what was Twitter. We have an X
account, at Curt Cignotti.
And we have the YouTube or the TikTok that we do. So I don't know if we
What's
can.
That? I don't know how that handle. I don't have TikTok. I
don't know how it works either. They're telling me how it works, and I'm like, okay.
That's over for the media relations department, right?
Oh yeah.
Was it Kristen, right?
Yeah, I can't do it all. I told her I can't do it all. I mean, I can be the talent, but I can't be
Hey, you got to keep your people in line, man.
Yeah.
That's where the success comes from. You got to have great assistants that do their jobs, man. Right.
I'm sure you can understand that. Yes.
Got to keep those assistants in line, right?
Absolutely.
Is she doing her job so far?
Oh, she's great. She's done a great job. She's very computer savvy, and I mean, she knows her stuff.
Hey, I've got a couple of people that have asked, would you go to the Purdue game? I'm sure he would if someone provided tickets. He doesn't have tickets, obviously, to get.
I mean, it'd be sacrilege if I went and bought a Purdue ticket. But
there, that's it, man. Cignetti might be, but the Bison will not be allowed at Purdue. Is that true? I don't know about that, but they can't stop Cignotti. But yeah, man, it's this has just been a fun thing for you, and I know it continues, and it's probably just now beginning, to be honest, after that article in the Star went out. That that goes everywhere, and like I said, they're tied to USA Today, so I wouldn't be surprised if this continues throughout the season because of the success. And now with you kind of semi-promoting it just for fun. But yeah, we'll have to think of some stuff to do. I'd love to be a part of it, brother. I think it's great what you're doing. So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier. We're gonna
Google Cignotti. He wins. That's right. I'm going through the see? People love you.
Thank you.
People love you. Purdue sucks, so does Michigan and Ohio State.
I agree.
Remember that?
Yes.
Oh, we got that all day long. I mean, where do I have that? It's always close at hand, but when you're doing it all yourself, I can't ever find things as quickly as I would like to. Daggone it. But I certainly had it.
I think that just comes with age. I'll set something down, walk out, and then come back, and I don't even know where it went.
Oh, it's just in a bunch with a bunch of others that are buried, and so I'll forget about that. But all right, now what do you do for the away games? You guys have a watch parties?
We're going to have one this weekend. A buddy of mine, Brian McIntosh, is coming over with his wife, and we're going to have snacks and whatnot. Maybe have a couple of cold beverages, and we're going to enjoy Maryland's beatdown.
Well, Coach Curt Cignetti enjoys a cold beverage after the game.
I've heard that.
Now before the game, he drinks that was a no calorie Gatorade. It's the light blue one.
Right.
That's what he's always drinking. So that you may have to. That's what you have to get to complete the uniform.
All right.
Do you have? Yeah. It's the I forget the flavor, what it's called, like Ocean Blast or something, but it's blue, like the no calorie, whatever the heck it is. I don't know, but that you got to have that in your hand. He always has that when he's doing his pressers.
Okay.
Whenever I see him, he's always got that. So there's a little bit.
Maybe we can get Gatorade to sponsor us or something.
So boy, great mind. I like where the mind is. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else you can add to it. You've got it going so well, man. It's just perfect, and it didn't take much to throw that together. But are you going trick or treating tonight? It's Halloween. You should get the boatload of candy.
Yes, I'm
Reese's and Snickers. Reese's and Snickers. Remember?
Oh yeah. Go to the good houses, rich side of town.
I'm gonna try to pull this up if I can find it, but that's what Cignetti liked. He wants he said he was a Reese's and Snickers guy, which that was pretty much me too. And I'm still a Reese's guy. I love Snickers still, but I haven't had a Snickers bar. I couldn't even tell you how long. It's funny, boy. You get older, you're like, damn it, yeah, I'd like that stuff, but can't have it. So, but yeah, Cignetti has gotten. Let's say this year he's gotten more serious, I think, than he was last year. So All right, I'm going to try to get this pulled in. And
I think a lot of it's just he didn't want last year to.
All right, goodbye week. Got rested up, got practice in.
They had.
Well, that's not it. Sorry, I'm going to get to the end there. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say he didn't want this year's team to, just kind of take a seat back or, kick back, let off the gas because of what they did last year, and to make this year film.
Well, you got to keep them ready to go. Let me see if I've got this lined up just right.
Football team. We're a good football team.
Curt, do you have any update on the status of D'Angelo Pons and kind of when you watch the film?
Well, this is
against Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been the wrong one. Man, what an idiot I am. Can't get it. Daggone it. But anyway, appreciate you. I hope you're having fun with it.
Absolutely.
Please tell your staff thank you for all the assistance in getting this set up. And hopefully we'll do this again as the season continues to progress and we can get a report on things. How's the team looking, by the way?
Looking really good. They've only improved through each game. And I felt like this year's team, a little bit better than last year's team. I kind of thought that during the Iowa game. That people underestimate how tough that was. Test for. I mean, Iowa wanted to beat us, and they did. Obviously they weren't able to do it, but I think that really was a gut check for us, and we passed. So
absolutely, they did, and got it done. What do you expect from your team coming up against Maryland?
Dominance. Not to take anything away from Maryland's team or their kids, but we're just more talented, and we want it more. So I see us having a pretty big margin of victory.
Well, there you go. Curt Cignotti, a.k.a. Cory Miles, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. Enjoy it. I know that the fans are enjoying it, and keep it on, and we'll check back in, man, as the season progresses and have some more fun with this.
Also, all your viewers, check out the TikTok. We're going to have very soon. We're going to have some excellent skits up there to make everyone laugh.
And then what's the handle? How do you get to it?
It's Curt Cignotti. Spelled the
same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing as on X at Curt Cignotti.
Right.
So reach out and follow those. Make sure you connect with him. He just opened his new X account. So,
and we're gonna have other stuff. We're gonna do sports talk too, and
got it all going, baby. Jumping into the fray.
Well, yeah, one of my favorite things to talk about. So it comes easy to me.
Well, we appreciate you, brother, and keep on keeping on, and we'll check back in with you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day, Jim. Go Hoosiers.
Thank you.
Go Hoosiers, number one.
Curt Cignotti, Cory Miles joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Much more coming up after these messages.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, on this spooky Halloween. Happy Halloween. Let's get some Halloween background in there. Ooh, yeah. Hey, all right. Need some Halloween music. Producer, get that Halloween music out there. Hope everyone, hey, is anybody got kids you're taking trick-or-treating tonight? Anything? Anyone? Bueller? Yeah, looking forward to this week in Indiana on the football trail on the road as they travel to College Park, Maryland, to take on the Turtle, the Terrapins. I'll be down there. Of course, we'll be doing a post-game show afterwards. I'll be coming to you from the stadium there. Got the World Series kicking back in, I think, tonight, right? Man, that thing, it seems like they played 3 games in a row, which was shocking to me. They usually stretch those things out for a while. When more shenanigans at LSU, man, first of all, if you saw the governor's statements, yesterday and the day before, but it was obvious this dude was in trouble with the governor, because the governor appoints, much like they do in Indiana now, but he appoints their board of supervisors, I think they call it at LSU, who hires the people. And the governor basically said, yeah, Woodward. Oh yeah, there you go, bro. Okay, bro. Tommy Lasagna and the Hollywood Dodgers. The Dodgers, they're not looking too good. They're going down, K-Bro. Man, I hope, K-Bro, I hope you're doing well. Happy Halloween to you, brother. Hope you have a good one, and I hope all is going well with you and your fiancée. Back, let's see. Yeah, Scott Woodard out as the AD. But do you know he was the AD at Texas A&M when Jimbo Fisher was let go. He has the 2 biggest buyouts in college football history are under his watch. Yeah, you got to go, dude. That's nearly $130 million that he has been responsible for. I mean, geez, dude, throw me a bill. You obviously you wouldn't miss it. $130 million, just like drop one of them off. Just let it just accidentally drop into my account. You wouldn't notice it, but it would change my life. K-Bro says happy Halloween. He's dressed as Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball, unless he's saying I am. I don't know what Steve the Pirate looked like, so. And if you're dressed like Steve the Pirate, then you need to jump on here and just give us a quick 5-minute look-see to see that. Fulton, I will get to your text message, brother. And yeah. So on the Pat McAfee show on yesterday, I watched this. I happened to see this. Landry added, there's a number of bad contracts that seem to have followed Scott Woodward. Yeah, I'll say 2 of them cost $130 million. But the biggest thing is for LSU, that contract, their $54 million buyout, the taxpayers are on the hook for that if someone does not step up and pay for it, which I bet they're going to find some money people to do that, to take care of that. But that's a different deal, man. The taxpayers, no, that won't fly. And I Woodard is a jackass, in my opinion. You have to look at the numbers, man. You have to look at the numbers. Let's see. Looking at some of these responses on the comments line. Turtle soup is on the menu. Doug says he hates to ask this here, but what's going? Yeah, we'll do that another time. Fred's going as David Eisenhower. Says he's betting no one guesses him. Brian says baseball yawn, not a baseball fan. Hey, man, everything's not for everybody, but plenty of people like it. Bobby's rooting for the Canadians. Says he doesn't care if they're from Canada. He can't stand the Dodgers. And he thinks that K-Bro does look a little like Steve the Pirate, which I, again, don't know what Steve the Pirate looks like. Last night in Miami, Lamar Jackson immediately returned to his MVP form and provided hope that the Baltimore Ravens can get back in the playoff hunt. They went into that game 2-5, but yet someone had still predicted that they would win their division, which that's a lot of confidence for a team to be 2-5. But Lamar had been hurt for those games. But after missing 3 games, he missed 3 games. He threw 4 touchdown passes in a 28-6 win over the Dolphins on last night. The Ravens are now 3-5. They've shaken off. They were 1-5. I'm sorry. A 1-5 start to close within 1.5 games of the AFC North leading Pittsburgh Steelers, who play your Indianapolis Colts next. They sit at 4-3. Boy, what a weak-ass division. How many teams have started off 1-5 and made the playoffs? Man, I bet you that is a small number if it is not 0. But he looked good last night. Man, that's not a good sign for opponents. He looked pretty healthy. Games coming up this weekend. We'll talk about those a little bit later. Oh, Central Michigan. Remember when this is going back a couple of years, when Connor Stallions was caught on the sidelines of Central Michigan against Michigan State? Well, the fallout finally happened. Former Central Michigan coach Jim McElwain, 3 of his former staff members of that program, now face NCAA penalties for their roles in allowing Connor Stallions to be on the sideline during that game. McElwain all agreed to this with the NCAA. I think they all get a 2-year show cause, except for one of the equipment guy who actually was the one that facilitated this, Costner. Yeah, his name was Costner. Jack Costner bypassed the program's normal procedures by requesting extra coaching gear from Nate Mason, the former coordinator of athletic equipment operations. Costner then asked Mike McGee, the former director of recruiting, to give the clothing and the sideline pass to his friend Stallions, though Costner had used an alias to avoid detection before kickoff. Gee whiz. I mean, that's dirty, downright cheating. Now, Stallions has an 8-year show cause, but it'll be interesting to see if he comes back to football afterwards. But so that, I guess, is the kind of the final nail in that deal. But I guess we shall see. Matt Rule, Nebraska locks their coach up. Now you've got Matt Rule, Curt Cignetti off the board for these coaching jobs. Matt Rule getting a 2-year extension that keeps him signed until like into the 2030s. $15 million buyout, but which is doable for some of these teams. But why? What has he done? Little to nothing. Little to nothing. So that amazes me. And let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. The NCAA announced yesterday that for the men's and women's NCAA tournaments, availability reports will be made available. Teams will have to submit these the night before play and again 2 hours before tip-off. And like they have availability reports for football right now, but they don't have to be turned in released until 2 hours before kickoff. And I'm like, yeah, it's not a lot of time. It's almost pointless, but I wonder if that will get changed and extended. Calbert Chaney, former Hoosier great, being added to the Peacock team. Broadcast crew for basketball games. Indiana doesn't have a lot of games on Peacock, I don't believe. I think it's like 2 or 3 from what I recall, but I'll have to go back and check that. But if you're wondering what the former great is going to be doing, there you go. He doesn't have to do anything. Buddy, that's an easy job. Just jumping in and talking about what you love to talk about. So we'll see how that works out. He's somebody that probably should have been on a long time ago. And if you notice, ironically, there's not a lot of former IU people on the TVE basketball side anymore, at least. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Peacock either, I've got to say. Brian says one is too many. One game is too many. When I watch it, it drags. It's weird. There's a drag. It's not smooth. And nothing else I have does that, so I've got to say it's Peacock. But it is what it is. When Alec Lasley joins us in the next hour, we'll talk recruiting for basketball and recruiting. Alec from the Hoosier.com. Zach Osterman will join us next as well. Big fun having Curt Cignotti on today as well. So anybody traveling to Maryland, to Penn State, I was planning on going to Penn State, but I will not be going to Penn State now because I'm going to the Indiana basketball game that weekend instead, which is on Sunday. But the travel to Happy Valley and Chicago and all of that's just a little too much. So I'll just be going to the basketball game on that weekend. And then Indiana will return home to finish out the whole portion of their season against Wisconsin on November 15 before traveling to Purdue the following week. And they should be playing at Lucas Oil Stadium in the Big Ten Championship the week after that. How many people will Indiana pull in for that? That's going to be very interesting. You want to talk, we talk so much about the need for expansion of this stadium. Well, there will not be a bigger game than this. This again will become the biggest game in Indiana football history. And if they were to, but the last time Indiana went to Lucas Oil Stadium, they played Ball State, I believe. You know, didn't draw well. Of course, but that was then. This is now. So I'm going to get, or I'm very, very interested in seeing how much they're going to draw, because Ohio State is going to bring a crowd to that game. A, they just travel well, but B, they're no dummies. They realize this game is in Indianapolis, Indiana, and they're going to be playing Indiana. So can Indiana fans muster up and fill their side of that? Man, that place will be loud, because you've got two factions of teams that are, or of fans that are going at it. And then, yeah, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Jason, but then you have the Louisville basketball game that day. Earlier that day, Indiana versus Louisville. And then that night at 8 p.m. at Lucas Oil is the Big Ten Championship. You want to talk about a gigantic day for Indiana fans in Indianapolis. And it could just continue. That could just be the start of the party. Because if they win that game, they go to the CFP with a number one stamp on their head, and they will be number one in the AP poll. So they got that going for them, which is pretty damn nice. Lots more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Alec Lasley will join us, Zach Osterman as well. We're back with more after these messages.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Jim Coyle with you as always. And something else I saw yesterday, UCLA has, they play their games in the Rose Bowl. That's where they have played their regular season games for some time. But it has not been an ideal situation for the Bruins since Westwood, their campus, is basically an hour drive away to get to the stadium. It's just, can you imagine if like the IU students, if Memorial Stadium was, it's basically like them driving to Indianapolis, but through traffic and all of that. So it has led to problems with attendance, and it's just not a good situation for them. They have an on-campus stadium, but it's like tiny. And so they were kind of caught talking to SoFi Stadium. I saw yesterday that they have been in talks with SoFi Stadium about moving their games there, although they have a contract with the Rose Bowl that runs to like 2044, I believe. But UCLA, it just seems like, to be in such a large city, it's just like a lost school. And then on top of that, UCLA athletics got put in a blender by the LA Times Wednesday, with Ben Bolch releasing a report of how 64 former Bruin football players called for athletic director Martin Jarmond to be replaced, and Sam Farmer reporting on the Rose Bowl filing a lawsuit to enforce UCLA to fulfill their lease at the stadium, which is what I was just talking about. But it felt like a couple of haymakers against UCLA athletics, a department that was already struggling to keep its head above water after getting 50-pieced by the Indiana Hoosiers last week. UCLA is in the midst of a head coaching search. Chancellor Julio Frank stood by Jarmond in a statement on Wednesday, but it's likely that UCLA will be looking for a new athletics director as well. Where the hell are all these people going to come from, people? Seriously, how are you going to replace all these coaches? Where are you going to get? Cignetti's off the market. Rule's off the market. Kiffin might go to LSU, but if he does, you still got Florida open, then you've got Ole Miss open. Who's going to fill these shoes? Seriously. UCLA has two great basketball programs, which will distract the fan base for much of the winter, but the football program remains in turmoil even after the surprise 3-game win streak. While interim Tim Skipper has done a good job with the Bruins, bringing in a more established head coach and athletic director to run the program would make sense, just to stop the mess that has continued to step out on the program. Yeah, back in the day, everybody was just getting moved up from within. You can't do that anymore. You damn sure can't fire a coach with a $54 million buyout and just hire from within. But again, where are all of these coaches going to come from? Are you just going to mix them up? James Franklin? Is he going to be? I mean, he's got to go somewhere. Surely somebody's going to take him. UCLA, there you go. We want a fresh start. Very challenging. I don't know that they have the support, to be honest with you. And then obviously when you've got half of the football team asking for the athletics director to be replaced, that's not good. The 64 players spanned different eras of UCLA football, but they all shared a displeasure for the current state of the program. Well, hell, who doesn't? If you're not winning, yeah. Okay, but what are they doing for it? Are they putting money in? Are they giving to the NIL fund? What are those former players doing? There's a question for you. How you like them apples? I don't know that they do. But back to the Rose Bowl. Sam Farmer of the LA Times reported on Wednesday that the Rose Bowl has filed a lawsuit to enforce that the UCLA Bruins fulfill their lease at the stadium, accusing UCLA of trying to move their home games to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Much closer to campus, by the way, Pasadena officials stated that taxpayers have already invested $150 million in renovations into the Rose Bowl, with another $130 million in bonds for additional capital improvements. The complaint states that UCLA has unequivocally expressing its intent to abandon the Rose Bowl Stadium and relocate its home football games to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, which they described as a profound betrayal of trust. We'll see how this works out. Attendance for UCLA has taken a hit in recent years, in part due to the mediocre product on the field, and partially due to the location stadium compared to UCLA's campus. SoFi Stadium is 13 miles away from campus, while the Rose Bowl is 26 miles away, which that doesn't sound like a big difference, but in LA times, in LA driving, that's a lot. UCLA's lease with the Rose Bowl runs through 2044, like I thought, meaning that the agreement would have the Bruins playing nearly 2 more decades at the Rose Bowl. So, yeah, we'll see how that works, man. But they do need out of that. It's not good for them. The Big Ten, the Big Ten needs those teams to be good. It needs these teams to be competitive. That's kind of hurting the Big Ten right now. I don't really know. I just don't think the Big Ten is quite as deep as the SEC. But again, I don't know that. I don't know that USC and Iowa are not as good as Missouri and Vanderbilt. We'll find out in certain sometimes, because there's going to be some matchups. Justin, wishing everyone a happy Halloween. Appreciate that. Russell says he wouldn't put it past Michigan State, tried to get one of Sig's assistants. Well, I don't think putting it past is the right phrase. I mean, why would any team not try to get Bryant Haynes or Mike Shanahan? They would be stupid not to talk to these guys. When you're looking for a replacement, well, your goal is to be successful. So you're going to turn to people who have been successful, who are successful, who know how to be successful. That's the whole deal. So yeah, they're going to get looked at. That's just how it happens, and it's not. It's not incumbent upon those teams to not do so. It will be interesting to see if any with these holes, and they're just not being a ton of it's hard to say qualified. Who knows? I mean, how many assistants out there are actually qualified to be a head coach? Maybe plenty, especially on the upper D1 level. But then how many G5, the coaches from the G5 are out there that, like Curt Cignetti, Lance Leipold, who went to Kansas. Brian Haynes is being paid pretty damn well. I think he's like the third highest paid coordinator in the country. And they'll probably have to increase that. They really will, to keep them. People are going to come after him without question, and Mike Shanahan probably. But I wonder, if I'm one of those coaches, do I want to go down? And it depends on what opportunity is offered. But do I want to leave a well-oiled machine that is going to be competing at the elite level, apparently for some time? Do I want to leave that and go to the kind of the bottom and have to fight my way up. Some coaches do want to do that, but some don't really want to be a head coach. They're being a coordinator is enough. Especially now with the money that some of these guys are being paid. I mean, the coordinators are being paid more than Indiana's head coach was 7 years ago or thereabouts. That's an amazing jump. Hey, did you go to the fantasy tab in your college pick'ems this week? I'm actually 40 and 30. Although I've missed 2 weeks, I can't catch up with you guys. But some tough games on here. Vanderbilt at Texas. Isn't Pavia in concussion protocol? Navy at North Texas. How about this one? 7-0 Navy against 7-1 North Texas. Arizona State at Iowa State. Both 5-3. Iowa State coming off of that loss that they had last week. Texas Tech at Kansas State. Virginia at California. 7-1. How about Virginia? One of the surprises of the season, ranked number 15. They're 7-1 out of the ACC. Boy, there's going to be I can imagine this is going to be the last year of the 12-team playoff, because there are actually more than I could see 16 this year. Oh boy, here's a big game. How about Cincinnati going to Utah? I'm going to move that to my 5-point game. I can't, I don't know about trusting that. USC goes to Nebraska. This is a CFP determiner. Andrew asking, could the ACC get 2 in? Well, they're going to have 2 teams that are probably worthy of it. Georgia Tech, 8-0, leading the way. They travel to North Carolina State this weekend. But then you've got that Virginia team that they're going to California. I think California gets the upset. Oklahoma has to travel to Tennessee. I think that is the Volunteers all day long there at Neyland Stadium. I think Nebraska's, boy, that's a tough game to pick. Nebraska has. How bad would it be for Matt Rule? This would be, you know what? I'm going to pick USC, which 80% of the people have. This would be so on brand for Matt Rule to lose this game right after signing his 2-year extension. It's a little surprising. So I think I've got everything selected. And how many points will be scored in the Utah versus Cincinnati game? Oh, I just always go with the 54 points. How about them apples? So the picks are in. Are yours in? Don't forget to go to thehoosier.com and subscribe today. You get it for 50% off, and you get a subscription to The Athletic. And you go in for a drawing to win an Adidas embroidered on-3 coat, pocketed coat. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, Brian's got his in. He thinks Nebraska's going to win. It's going to be interesting this weekend across the Big Ten. I think there are 6 teams that are off. And currently, right now, college in ESPN's College Football Power Index, it has the Buckeyes at number 1 by 2%, whatever they do this. Indiana number 2, Oregon number 3. Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten. Then the Crimson Tide of the SEC, then Notre Dame Independent, then Georgia, Texas. How in the hell is Texas up this high? I'm not. What? They have done nothing. That's why these rankings I'm calling BS. I'll take USC. I'll take Illinois. I'll take Nebraska up against Texas. I just think they're average. And they've done nothing to prove it otherwise. Jason thinks that the Big Ten gets 4 teams in. We'll certainly see. It's going to be tough. They're kind of beating themselves, and everybody likes to say it. Oh, everybody is SEC. All they're beating up on themselves. Everybody does that. People, get off of that boat. Everybody plays their conference games, stupid. That is so dumb to say. Iowa's another team. I'll take Iowa against Texas. They don't have much of an offense. That's Iowa's problem. And it's always going to be Iowa's problem. I think it's time for them to move on from Kirk Ferentz. It's been a great run. And Iowa fans, I think, are okay with having a 8 to 10 win season, going to a nice bowl game, and rolling on. And then that's fine. But if you want to play for national titles or Big Ten titles, you gotta beef it up. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com will join us. We'll get you caught up on recruiting information for basketball and football. Set the stage for this weekend as well. On the other side, right after these messages.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC. Local lives here.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you on this Halloween Friday. Speaking of which, Alec Lasley joining us from thehoosier.com. I'm glad. Take your mask off, brother. You can so we can see you. Oh, you're not wearing a mask. My bad.
What are you for Halloween? We gotta let the people know. What are you dressing up?
I'm nothing, baby. I'm just a jackass.
You're just the scary Jim Coyle as
just
always.
A jackass. That's just normal. Yeah, just nothing great. Just expecting lots of those. Yeah, but yeah. How's your Halloween going? What are you going trick or treating? You going to pull in the candy?
No, I'm going to the Pacers game tonight. So that, I guess that'll be a little scary to see that Pacers lineup with all those injuries. But I've never been a huge. I'm not a huge candy person or sweets person, so Halloween was never a big deal for me. So it's just been kind of another day for me every single year.
Well, I hear you, brother. That's how it gets. Basketball. First of all, Indiana's Nick Dorn getting closer to being fully cleared from his injury, getting one of these guys back for the Hoosiers, which they've had like 4 guys sidelined, which has affected what they've been able to do in practice.
No, absolutely. And he is, right? He's been kind of one of those guys that slowly but surely has been making progress while seemingly kind of half the other part of the roster has been still wearing boots, still kind of getting through the initial phases of any sort of injury. But he's been progressing ever since he had that initial surgery here to kind of begin the summer when he committed here to Indiana back, obviously, 6 months ago at this point. It was to clean up a foot injury that he had last year at Elon that caused him to miss the last month and a half of the season. So he hasn't played in any sort of setting outside of some drills and a little bit of practice since February 8th. So regardless, right, of when he comes back, it's going to take a while to really get him into the swing of things. That is a lot of basketball to miss. Obviously, was not there for Puerto Rico, has not played in any of the exhibition games, did not play in the scrimmage for Indiana. But once again, is a guy who, right when he steps on the floor, is going to be able to provide an impact, and that's shooting the basketball, right? He's a 6'6", 6'7" kind of wing. Was a lot of ability to knock down shots. Very high volume shooter at Elon the last couple of years. Took about 7.5 threes a game last year, and that was the majority of his shot attempts. And he's a guy who deals a lot better off of the ball. So he kind of works into specifically what this Indiana offense can use, and that's another shooter, right? Specifically, right, with this sort of system, you cannot have enough shooters from a Darren DeVries perspective, and that's what you're going to get with Nick Dorn. But I think I'd be shocked if he plays on Wednesday. We'll see. I don't think they need to rush him back by any means.
That was going to be my first question. I know even if he's available, there's absolutely no point in putting him in that situation.
Yeah, because you go right. We would assume Indiana would be able to get by Alabama A&M. Then you go at Marquette. Then you have a couple weeks where you have, again, a lot of low major teams coming in where you don't necessarily need him. Then you have Kansas State November 25th. And then right after that, you have about 2 weeks. And then you get into really kind of the heart of your non-conference where you go and conference play. Then you go at Minnesota, December 3rd, Gamebridge against Louisville. I think it's at home against Penn State. And then right after that is at Kentucky. So in a week span, you have those 4 games that I think are really going to, not only set Indiana up for obviously what could be a really good start to conference play with Minnesota and Penn State, but then obviously 2 very, very notable non-conference games where if you're able to go kind of 3-1 in that stretch, I think that's something where that you run to Christmas and don't look back. But I think that's kind of the stretch from an Indiana fan perspective where you should probably hope to see Nick Dorn kind of settling into a specific role for this team. Again, this was someone who, when he did transfer in, was expected to not only get significant minutes, but potentially start for this team. So he's a guy who's going to make an impact. It's just a matter of when, not if. But obviously a very good sign to get anyone back right at this point with Jason Drake, Lexi Ristich, and Josh Harris still sidelined with some foot and ankle injuries.
And those are both Ristic and Josh Harris are guys that are expected to contribute on the depth of this team. Ristic was not, the expectation may not have been there when they signed him, but once I saw him play in Puerto Rico with, only being with the team a few days, I'm like, damn, they're going to use this guy. He can step in and play right now off the bench. And so Josh Harris as well. So they definitely need every one of these guys, because this depth is going to really come back and bite them. And their biggest, the exhibition game against Baylor, I cannot believe how they just got crushed on the boards so badly. Yet we're still able to manage to win that game, forcing a lot of turnovers, getting points off of those turnovers. But they're going to have to work hard every game to make up for that lack of rebounding ability.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Darren DeVries talked about it after the game, right? The size, the athleticism, and the quickness, right, and the length specifically of Baylor was a major impact early on, and I think everyone expected it to be. This was really the first true test to see what size and length would do to disrupt Indiana on both ends of the floor. And midway through the first half, I mean, it was clear that Indiana was kind of shell-shocked of the length and the size that Baylor had. Not so much the physicality, right? Because I think Indiana can deal with the physical nature this roster can of what will be thrown at them throughout the course of Big Ten play, just with what they have on the perimeter, and especially at the lead guard spots with Tatum Connerway and Connor Enright, their physical nature out on the perimeter. But the length and the athleticism, right, and Darren DeVries talked about it, they can't out-jump anyone. And that was a critical part in the early stages of that game. But I think once they really settled in, they started to run more of their offensive sets, which was, I think, kind of putting them in a little bit of a hole early on, because they were turning the ball over a little bit too much early on, not getting any sort of offensive rebounds and not making any shots. And I mean, they didn't make a whole bunch of shots to begin with. So I think it was good to see them be able to fight back the way that they did now for the third time, right, against any sort of exhibition competition, and really, again, enter this season with a true identity. And that's very rare, especially nowadays, especially with Indiana adding an entirely new roster, right, to go into November 1st already knowing kind of what the backbone and identity of your team is going to be this season. That's a major confidence boost going into any sort of matchup, let alone, the matchups against Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas State, Marquette, obviously notable resume boosting wins that they can grab before Christmas. I think they're ahead of where I expected them to be heading into the season. And so I think it should be a confidence boost for every sort of Indiana fan who is able to see them play, that once again, what we've talked about all summer is this team's going to play hard, and they're going to play very physical, and they're most of the time not going to beat themselves, right? If they lose a game, it's not going to be because they didn't hustle, that they didn't play hard, they didn't bring any sort of emotion and intensity, something that really lacked this program the last couple of seasons. It's just going to be either they fundamentally weren't great from a defensive perspective, or got beat on the boards and some of the stuff that they'll be able to kind of, but it's never going to be because they didn't play hard or anything like that. So I think it's a confidence boost from that perspective.
Before I forget, Fulton wanted to know what your favorite candy was.
Snickers.
Yeah, Snickers is one of the tops, man. I probably have to put Reese's at the top, but Snickers is right there, number 2. Russell asking, does Indiana have a chance with Arif Dion, the number 1 center in the class out of Iowa?
I mean, as of right now, everything's pointing still towards Houston for Irfan Diani. He's obviously a very, very talented, sought-after center. Houston's been in that recruitment for the longest time. Indiana did a very good job on his visit, and I know fans are going to talk about, well, when do visits go bad, right? When do they not work out in the school's favor? But in this perspective, again, when you have connections with people inside of Diane's circle, from Drew Adams and Darren DeVries with kind of their Midwestern and then Iowa connections. And they've set the groundwork leading into that visit to, if they did a very good job showcasing more so what the system was going to look like and how he would be used, that they would be able to make up ground. And it does appear that they were able to do that. Now it's just a matter of, right, he makes his decision here at the tail end of the early signing period. I think it's November 19th, 18th or 19th that he's making his decision. And that's when obviously we'll end up finding out here. But right after his visit, Darren DeVries and Kenny Johnson went out and visited Diani for an in-home visit right before he ended up leaving to Houston. So they're doing everything that they can to obviously continue to make up ground. But at this point, I mean, any team that comes from behind here is going to have to take down Houston.
Well, maybe they should start looking in the G League. I mean, or maybe the NBA, first round washouts. Why not? What's the difference between the NBA and the G League?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week too. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how things work out. I don't think we're going to see a huge shift to G League recruitments. I just really don't. I think you may see one or two, right, in a normal setting. Maybe a couple more, but that's not going to be the bulk of any of these schools' recruitments. And if they do, I think you're going to see the talent pool really wash out quickly from a college program's perspective. And so I don't think a lot of schools are going to go that route. I really don't.
Well, yeah, I hope not. Just for, I hate to use the word purity of the game because there's nothing pure about this game anymore, but just to keep it to where it is. People are complaining that college football is being ruined when it's not being ruined. It's actually being made better than it's ever been, but there needs to be guardrails, which we all know, and on all of this, but that's a whole different story. Indiana continues to be mentioned with some of these top guys, and the biggest question fans are going to have is, when are they going to land them? When are they going to land one? Who are they? So they did not get Anthony Thompson, and I'm assuming that kind of came down to money that Indiana decided not to pay. Is that the case?
Look, I mean, here's the thing, right? You have a lot of different variables going into, top 10, top 5 type player recruitments. At the end of the day, if you look at from a NIL perspective, right, we'll just say throw out, $10, $15 million that a team realistically could kind of spend, through the transfer portal and other aspects here. Are you really going to spend a third of that on a one and done freshman who may or may not, help elevate you from a first round team to a Final Four contender, right? If you're spending that much money, you're looking to make a massive jump in expectations. Or in Ohio State's standpoint, right, a hometown kid, a coaching staff that may or may not be in the middle of a make or break season here over the next year and a half, that buys them a little bit of time to potentially get a lottery pick in next year's draft. And so you're going to do that from Ohio State's perspective. I think, Indiana continued to do everything that they could have done in that recruitment. There was a lot of talk towards the end there that money may be the deciding factor for a couple different reasons, but I wouldn't be too concerned moving forward from Indiana's standpoint. And I think, yes, you need to land top talent, obviously, to continue to be successful and make deep runs. The one thing I'll say with that is, I think Houston, obviously, how they've been able to become such a standard for consistency, right, and making consistent Sweet 16s, even Gonzaga too, right? They have done a phenomenal job of recruiting and landing top 50 guys, even in the NIL standard, right? Top 50 guys who may take a year or two to truly develop, but have a firm culture where they don't see a lot of external transfers, land maybe one potential one and done guy every other year, but then do a phenomenal job having that core and bringing in 2 or 3 instant impact transfers. I think the route that Indiana is going to be going with Darren DeVries is that route of landing a good core group of guys who are bought into the culture of the program, who stay 2 years before they really get their major turn, their major cut here. Go land multiple instant impact transfers and have them be plug and play guys. You're not going to be able to see that here in the first 2 years, because obviously Indiana is going to lose a lot from this year's roster and have to go refill that. But I think you're going to see them do that with multi-year guys in the transfer portal instead of obviously the handful of players who only have 1 year of eligibility that they brought in this season. But I think you're going to see Indiana really sit around the sweet spot of top 25, top 60 players, get a couple of those every other class, land a top 10, potential top 15 guy. But their connections and their system is going to be too good to not do that. You just need to have them showcase that this year. And then I think you'll see the dominoes start to fall. But I wouldn't get too – I think this year with Indiana's push to land top 25 talent, right, they had to swing big to start here. And I think after players continue to see the system in action, it'll open up their eyes a little bit more. And I think you'll see in 2027 or beyond here, 2028 now, some real kind of infusion of top freshman talent that'll come to Indiana. But I think you're still going to see the sweet spot being that, 30 to 50 rating player caliber. I mean, you see that with Trent Sicily. Obviously, wasn't a Darren DeVries recruit there, but that's the type of player that I think you're going to see a lot more of. Obviously, you have Prince Alexander Moody, a guy who is almost bought in more to the culture and the program than I've ever seen from a high school recruit already, with how engaging he is to the Indiana fan base, how much he's pumping out Indiana content after he committed in the summer. And so I think those are the types of players that you'll continue to see who, may be in the rotation as a freshman, but not make a huge impact until that sophomore and junior year. But it's a guy who you don't have to worry about transferring because of the true culture that's going to be built and their full buy-in to that specific culture and system.
Alec Lasley of the Hoosier.com with me, Jim Coyle on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Appreciate you being with us. A lot of talk about Indiana's basketball-wise, their NIL capabilities, and that they aren't where they were, or they aren't where the elite teams are. I don't know how much veracity there is to this. It's a little surprising, considering that is Indiana's identity still, even though they have become trying to become a football school. They are still a basketball school, I promise you, as far as the fan base goes. But is there any truth to this, to your knowledge? Where is the situation exactly?
Yeah, I mean, Indiana, I would say, is definitely in the top 15, maybe around top 10-ish of NIL. But I mean, there's a huge gap between top 3, 4 and the back half of the top 10. And so,
is that going to be a problem for Indiana? I mean, with common sense says it is.
Yes and no, right? I mean, I think it depends, again, how aggressively you're going to continue to go after multiple top 5, top 10 players in the portal and in the class. I mean, you see with Kentucky, right? I mean, they're going after multiple 5-stars that they're landing, both highly sought after transfers and highly sought after high school players. I mean, they're obviously the front runners for Tyron Stokes, the number 1 player in the 2026 class. BYU got an infusion of money 2 years ago, right, with the boosters there, and AJ,
which is a little amazing. Who knew the Mormons were so into sports, man? What the hell? I cannot imagine them not giving that money to the church. And
You got AJ DeBansa, the number one recruit in the country. I mean, they're rolling out there in Utah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the energy that Kevin Young brought, right when he joined as the head coach there. I mean, that an NBA style of play, NBA talent type of coach, that obviously got people excited. And I think they were kind of right on the edge, right? With losing Mark Pope and looking at kind of where they could go, and being, a consistent kind of first weekend team in the NCAA tournament with Mark Pope, with not a lot of boosters, right? I mean, I think they just really said, hey, we can actually be very, very talented. We have an NBA mind now as our head coach. Let's see what we can do for the next 2-3 years, see if it works out. If it does, great. If it doesn't, then we kind of pull it back. And that's the thing, right? I mean, all these NIL budgets theoretically are kind of 1-year commitments from everyone, right? I mean, it's not like an NBA or NFL or professional sports contract where you're locked in for 3 years and that's your contract. I mean, that's not the case with any of this stuff. These are all 1-year commitments, and so that goes both ways. That goes with the boosters giving the program money, and that goes with the players receiving money from the coaches and from the programs, obviously, as well. So it's a two-way street there, and both need to continue to work together on that. But Indiana definitely, if they want to continue to compete, they need to get a better NIL a budget set in stone moving into the next 2 years. I think consistent success will do that. And so I think if you see an NCAA tournament team this year, you see an NCAA tournament team next year, right? That's one thing that I think you really need to start to see from this Indiana team, to give any sort of potential confidence from anyone providing money to go the basketball route instead of the football route. Because obviously, I think you ask any sort of fan right now where they would put money from an NIL standpoint, I think 9 out of 10 would probably go the football route. And I don't think you can argue that. But that's where I think, early success in winning right away will obviously drastically change that. And everyone obviously is talking about football, which they should be. I mean, it's a national championship contender in Bloomington. But I think, again, the lack of attention on the basketball team heading into this year, I think, is going to do this program wonders. It has not been like that in ever. The lack of publicity that's coming around the basketball program. And so I think in a couple of months, you'll start to see things shift a little bit towards the basketball side. And I think you'll start to see a little bit more excitement. And then I think towards the end of the year, right, where they all are with, I think, assumptions of what this team can be, I think you'll start to see, over the next 2 years, the NIL budget there for Indiana start to move up. And there's so many external factors that can contribute to rev share as well and everything like that. And the Big Ten's one of the best places to be for any sort of rev share. So they'll figure out a way to do it. But definitely just from an NIL standpoint, they are behind a lot of other programs up to this point.
Alec Lasley from Hoosier.com with us right now. We'll take a quick break, come back, finish it out, talk some football as the Hoosiers roll on, looking for 9-0 for the second consecutive season. Right after these messages. Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. Or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Friday. Glad to have you along. I saw that, I just saw actually, Alec, that the IDS, Indiana's daily student newspaper, is going to get to continue printing now through the end of the year. I think that is courtesy of Mark Cuban. So good news, as their printing had been stopped. So great to see that for those guys moving forward. Hey, on the football side, speaking of recruiting, things have picked up, especially with all of these coaching firings. It's kind of all playing a nice role into Indiana, helping increase their recruiting. Several of the Penn State guys either decommitted or are looking elsewhere. Indiana's hopefully to be a benefactor of some of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Indiana, right, cast a wide net after the success last season. This success this season is obviously just building on that. Indiana's doing a phenomenal job on the recruiting trail. I think every single win, every single visit, right, continues to build more momentum. And so you look around the country, and now a lot of 4-stars, even some 5-stars, right, are not just taking visits to take visits to Indiana, which they obviously never would have done before, but there's actual excitement around the program. Now you're having sellouts at home games. The atmosphere is just a lot different around campus. And obviously, if you have a college football playoff team back-to-back years, a national championship contender, a coach who seems to have all the media attention in the world whenever he says anything, good or bad, right? I mean, I think that's super appealing, especially when you look at the amount of development that's happened from transfers and from younger players, right? I mean, I don't think you see the same development in Isaiah Jones if this coaching staff wasn't here. Elijah Hardy, right? I mean, some of these guys who have really, stepped up big time over the last 2 years that maybe wouldn't have been that with a different coaching staff. So the development, the excitement level, the atmosphere, the winning, right, those are things that can change drastically the course of any sort of recruitment. And these coaches know that. You have a lot of really, really talented guys behind the scenes as well that have done a phenomenal job building and maintaining relationships. And that's the crazy thing now, right? I mean, even if someone commits, this goes with basketball too. When someone commits, that doesn't mean, the relationship ends there. A lot of these, not so much head coaches, right, or even truly assistants, but some of the other staff members and like player development guys will continue to have relationships with the families, with the AAU coaches or trainers or anything like that of any of these commits, because you never know what's going to happen when, in a scenario, someone decommits from a school, right? If you have that relationship that continues to last, that's an easy, quick then decision for a recruit to turn around and say, hey, I just decommitted from X, Y, and Z. I know that 5 staff members at this school continue to stay in contact with my family even after I decommitted. That's an easy yes for me. Or 2 years down the line, right, when they enter the transfer portal, that's a relationship that you still have. So the recruiting is ongoing, and you have guys now who kind of spanned across NFL organizations. You have guys who have been at a really high level Power 4 programs in the SEC as well, right? So now coming to Indiana, you have a great core of not just main assistants, but guys behind the scenes who have done a phenomenal job building, establishing, and maintaining those relationships. And like we've seen with Penn State specifically, multiple guys who are now taking a second look at Indiana that put the Hoosiers in a very, very good spot to land a lot of different pieces here to wrap up 2026.
Yeah, and not to jump around, but I wish I would have seen this. Von Carvalho is making his announcement tomorrow on the basketball side of things. He's the number 47 overall recruit in the country, down to 3 schools. Indiana, one of those, California, and Xavier. 6'7" small forward, prototypical Darren DeVries player. Where does Indiana sit in this, you think?
Yeah, so this is one where it really wasn't on the radar until earlier this month, probably the first week of October, when he quickly set a visit to Cal and Indiana. Indiana was his last visit the weekend of the 13th, 14th, however that date kind of fell on that Saturday for homecoming. And the biggest thing that's been the kind of major turning point there is Indiana, again, kept some contact throughout the summer. They had watched him a few times in the June and May evaluation periods, but never really moved on him because they were extremely focused on guys like Anthony Thompson, Latrell Allman, that played, not similar skill sets, but similar positions. And obviously you're going to go after a top 6 player in the class, a top 25 player in the class before potentially going to that top 50 player. The 2 biggest things that Von Carvalho is really, when I've talked to him, that really he's been touching on is environment at the school and system and skill set that how he could fit in. And the biggest things that he took away from his Indiana visit when we had that Q&A that's up on the website there from a little over a week ago was right when he stepped on campus, everything was about this Indiana basketball program from a recruit's perspective, right? The coaching staff did a phenomenal job getting him around campus to show how involved the school was in both basketball, football, and just sports in general. You don't typically get that everywhere, right? Where everyone is so invested in the athletic culture. And then the second thing was the skill set that he has to provide this system. The quote that stood out to me was, which is going to be music to a lot of Indiana fans' ears, but also very different than what you ever would have expected, is he says, Indiana loves to get up a ton of threes, and that fits my style, right? When have you ever heard that from an Indiana program from a basketball standpoint? So
not any time recently.
Exactly. And he's a guy, shot 39% from 3 last year, making 3 threes a game in high school. Made 2.5 threes a game in the AAU season, shooting about 35% from 3. So he's a high volume shooter from the perimeter, down to Xavier and Cal and Indiana. But the biggest things that he told me were going to be environment, and then the skill development and style of play that the program has if he'll end up making a decision on. Indiana's done a phenomenal job here and really pivoted, I think, nicely, but it goes back to still staying in contact and having those pre-developed relationships where a quote unquote pivot from Anthony Thompson and Latrell Allman quickly to another top 50 guy doesn't seem crazy in their eyes, because that relationship was still kind of already set. He's but anyway, announcing at 3:30 tomorrow Eastern time.
Tomorrow, November 1st. My bad. But looking forward to that. So that we'll have football going on, all kinds of stuff going on. What's next up for you and thehoosier.com?
Yep. Obviously taking a deeper dive into Maryland here this weekend. I think definitely the most difficult remaining game, in my opinion, for Indiana in the regular season. I think it's a lot of people were talking about how close that UCLA game could have been last week. And I did not really envision that whatsoever. I think this will be a little bit closer. Maryland does a phenomenal job in the first 3 quarters. Obviously, Curt Cignetti talked about it. We've talked about it on thehoosier.com, just the difficulty that they've had to close games. That's because they have a young but very talented team, just extremely young, that doesn't know how to win games yet. Yeah, but I mean, they were up 17 on Washington. They were up double digits on Nebraska. Yeah, and so these are opponents that only have 2 losses from Washington and Nebraska standpoint. Teams that have kind of been right in and out of the top 25, so they know how to keep the game close and take a lead. But I think one aspect that is going to hurt Maryland is Jalen Husky, their safety, is going to miss the first half due to a targeting call. In the second half of their last game, which was 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week last week, so he'll miss the first half against Indiana. He's the 4th graded safety per Pro Football Focus, a guy who does a lot from a leadership standpoint too out on the field. I think that's going to be a big loss for Maryland, but they're a team that still has 14 interceptions on the season. Not to say that Fernando Mendoza has been a little bit loose with the ball in the last couple of games, but obviously with the raised level of competition, all 3 interceptions have come in Big Ten play. So need to obviously be aware of that. But I still think Indiana wins easily. I think it's just going to be a little bit more of a hard fought game and a little bit closer. I think in our predictions that come out later on the side, I think I said 38-10. But it's something where Indiana feels very much in control, just the score's a little bit closer.
Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com. Don't forget, go there, subscribe today, 50% off, and you get a subscription to The Athletic. And if you do it by listening to the show here, just send me an email afterwards. You go into an entry for an embroidered Adidas jacket, coat. Appreciate you, Alec. Appreciate every one of you as well. Big thanks to Curt Cignotti, a.k.a. Cory Miles. I had Curt Cignotti on earlier, Alec. You'll have to check that out.
And I saw that. Should be a good one to listen to.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys go out and have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be there for the post game in Maryland. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.